Hello everybody, and today we're going to talk about how to beat assault-based armies. Okay, there's a few techniques you can use to beat armies like this. And armies like this could be demons, could be Tyranids, anything that's got, say, like 80% assault and like a little bit of shooting. These techniques will work wonders against armies like that. Okay. The first major way to beat assault armies is hide your guys in terrain and take up the bottom floor with you guys so they can't actually get up to assault you. It's hard to base your strategy around that. So this time I'm going to go without terrain. Okay, no terrain. Just see the tactics how to actually beat the armies like this. Okay, so the most important part about fighting armies with like demons or Tyranids, there's a very, very high chance to get first turn charge on you. Okay, so the first tip you want to do is put the most valuable units you have at the back of your firing lines. Okay, and you want to make firing lines as well. As you can see, I got the Gauss in front, I got a Tesla, and I got another Tesla. Okay, if you're fighting against assault armies like this, the first thing you want to do is move these guys back from the deployment area. This is dead on, it's not what you want. So you want to move them all back a little bit. Well, I would recommend this unit here, try and keep it over an inch or so away from the first firing line. Okay, so you have somewhere to fall back to, so you can fall back out of combat if they get stuck in combat for turn 1 and shoot with the Teslas. Okay, let's talk about the most important unit you could possibly have in your list to fight armies like this. I've never been a fan of auto includes, but in 8th edition, these are in all my lists, and they've never ever let me down in 8th edition. So what you do, you put them like so. You want to bring them out to the side as much as you can. So how many units you got? There you go. 1 unit there, 2 unit. So 3 units of scarabs. Like that. Okay. Right. The main reason you bring them out the side like this is to stop your opponent deep striking 9 inches on the side. So you can't deep strike here and charge you. Okay, so that is a nuisance to him, and you do the same on the other side. There's another good tip you can have, right, is have these 4 inches back from the front line. So if he kills a unit of scarabs, like a unit of 3, he can pile in and get these guys. But if you do that, right, you're pretty screwed because you'll have nowhere to run them back to next turn. These will have to be here. And then he'll pile in, he'll try and pile in. The next turn you get to these and he'll pile in and pile in and pile in and you'll never be able to kill him. So the Gauss Mauls are the second line of defense. They're the second meat shield with reanimation. Oh, another good tip, right? These Wraiths, you should always have at least 1 unit of Wraiths in your army now in 8th. Maybe 2 depending on how you play. But they're just too good not to put in your list. Always have these at the side of your army. Okay. Preferably at the back. If you do it like this at the side. Alright. He's unable to cast Smite on you, which is a big problem. If he brings in like a psychic, like this freaking thing here, so he's a Taznish or whatever, the psychic demon prince. If he casts Smite, even if he shoots these to death or something, these could still technically be in front. So if you bring them in slightly like so, they deny a deep strike area, and he stops the Smite. But he will not want to fight the Wraiths. Okay, so the majority of the time, he will just go for a head-on charge like so. If he psychics you, he just kills the scabs. Who gives a crap? They're so cheap. He'll charge these. He'll probably kill like 8. It's no big deal because then he's too far away to pile into the next unit. Okay. The scabs are there to give you a turn to shoot him. What I would recommend now, the way you set up your army, like Wraiths at the front, at the back, or at the side, wherever they are, depending on the terrain and such. What I would recommend with an army like this, I would highly recommend giving them first turn. And before you go and say, like, why the hell would you give him first turn? You want to shoot him off the board before you start, right? That's not what you want to do. Because you have to move your entire army forward, and it's that much easier for him to get into combat. Okay, you want to stay far back as possible, let him have first turn, maybe fail a charge or 2 so you got 1 or 2 demon princes out in the open. You can have his HQs or whatever in there, you have blood letters, like in here. This turn 1 is going to look something like this. It's going to be a massive horde. There's some sexy demonettes over here. Okay, his turn 1 is going to be like that. He'll be in combat with this, probably 1 or 2 units on the side, cast a smite. But the best thing is, these are only 13 points, so who gives a crap if he kills them? So his turn 1, he's probably going to wipe out this unit here. The front and the middle, there's a good chance he'll be in there. I don't think he shouldn't really attack the side because B2 is a disadvantage. These will be wiped out. Okay, these, just say, yeah, they go in as well. Let's make it really hard, yeah? Right, so they'll wipe these out. Right, turn 1, you've pretty much lost your entire units of scabs. So that's a lot of points to lose. But now look where he is. At the end of his combat phase, he'll have the option to pile into the Immortals. And if he does, just remind him that they can hit him back. If he doesn't pile in, you're ready to shoot him, but he most probably will pile in with 1 unit to stop shooting. You probably send in the Demon Prince, like so, maybe the Blood Letters. And then, what you want to do after that, you want to pile in as close as you can to whoever attacked you and try and get a few hits on him. Like so. Make sure you can't come any closer. Do your attacks, put them all on the unit with the least amount, the worst armor save. So I put these 4 into them and all these on there. So just here you killed 2 Blood Letters, if you're very lucky. Okay, now this is your turn 1 now. He's done his damage, he's like, oh yes, I'm going to murder you. What do you want to do now? Immediately fall back. Okay, keep as close as you can without being in combat, so 1.1 inch away. And deny him area space. And you shouldn't have to reanimate. I don't think they would have lost anything in combat because the scabs will be there to do this job. Right, this is the most important part. It's your target priority. You have 2 units of Tesla. You should have at least 1 Overlord near them. My will be done. Okay, so depending on how many Overlords or how many my will be done you have access to, give them to the Teslas. The Gauss can't shoot this turn because they fell back. Now let's put the Wraiths now. These Wraiths, their job is to go into the nasty stuff. Don't ever use your Wraiths for stuff like this and this, because the armor save is just not worth their time. The Wraiths are to go against this, this, and that. So, the Wraith's job is to attack the Demon Princess, and the Tesla is to attack the stuff with weak armor. Okay? So my will be done Tesla, the first unit. What you should do is try and kill these off. But the best part is, don't shoot all of these into that unit. Cut the firepower in half, put 5 Teslas into there, 5 into the other one with a bad armor save. And if you get really lucky, you might wipe out 1 unit, but just 1 unit Tesla. If you're very lucky, and I could lose a few of these. They are very squishy. So by doing that, right, you still got 10 back here shooting. If you shot the whole 10th that unit, the other 10 will be used on that, and that's just a waste of points. So now you'd be like, do I shoot all these into them, or do I shoot all this into a Demon Prince? Or maybe you got other squishy units, maybe like 4 or 5 units, so split your fire into them. But you make sure you use the Tesla to whittle down the squishy units. You have to kill these or you will lose the fight. But before you shoot, obviously, you move the Wraiths within range of the most dangerous thing you possibly can. Depending on how you play and how far away the Wraiths are, you should be able to get a combo with at least 1 Demon Prince. So then, after you shot them to death, you charge these into a Demon Prince. In all fairness, they should kill a Demon Prince. Okay, they should kill it. If they don't, well, it just sucks. So usually they kill this guy in your first turn. But they should in theory. So if you think about it now, right, you've lost 10 Scarabs on your turn 1. But your opponent has lost at least one Demon Prince, depending on the Teslas work out and what else you have in your army. You could have heavy destroyers, you could have Satans, whatever. Okay, it's just the basic backbone. Then you've just taken a lot more points off him. You've just lost a massive heavy hitter there. Demon Prince is down. You've lost some squishy units. He's like, this is not going out too well. This next turn then, you send whatever's left into the Immortals. You try and tie up your Teslas maybe. But if it happens, it happens. You can't stop that. So this one will be over here. It's going to stop us Tesla attacks, which is perfect. Because your turn 2, you get to overwatch with Tesla. And it does work in Overwatch, there's 6 of the extra hits, so it's a good chance to take a few wounds off him. If he gets into combat with 2 units, it doesn't matter. He wipes out like 8, just leave him there, and try and reanimate next turn. Fall back every turn, obviously. Don't stay in combat with Teslas. The Overwatch is almost as good as shooting. Sorry, the Overwatch is good. So it's better to Overwatch every turn than stay in combat with something like that. And then your next turn then, you send over what's left of the Wraiths. And you attack the Demon Prince. The Wraith's job every turn is to attack things like this. Okay. The trick is, go for his heavy hitters. If you take out the massive, horrible units, then you're down to who will last the most. And majority of the time, the Necrons will survive longer than the other races. Through reanimation, you'll eventually get your numbers back up. As soon as you take out all of your opponent's heavy hitters, he has nothing left apart from squish units. And even squish units, there's a good chance he'll die if they charge Tesla. So once you've killed these, start pushing out. Push out your army and go for it. Of course, make sure you have a few death marks or so to get objectives. If you spent your entire game back defending yourself, you will lose every time. So have some Tomb Blades, have some death marks. If some scabs survive, right? If they survive, awesome. Send them off to get an objective. Like, there's one guy left, you're like, oh, what's that? Ugh. So your opponent then will like, do I send a unit of Templar-less to kill that one freaking scab, or do I send them in here where they're needed? Okay, if you castle up too much, you will lose you some points. So no matter how much pressure he puts on you, just chuck 1 or 2 units out there to force him to break up his army. The Wraiths are a defensive melee unit, and once they've killed the heavy stuff, you send what's left, if there are anything left, after the next dangerous unit. Once these are dead, once they've killed these, the Teslas, what's left, if the Gauss is still alive, they will destroy what's left on the table. This strategy is awesome against Gene Stealers, because there's a good chance you're going to get 40 Gene Stealers on you turn 1. Okay, they'll kill pretty much every scab on the field. Pile into your Gauss, fall back with a Gauss, and you cut your fire each unit into each unit of Gene Stealers. So your turn 1, you should wipe out 2 units of 20 Gene Stealers. That's an awesome trade just for a few scab bases. And depending if you've got anti-tank weapons, you can take shots at the swarm lord and such. So that's how you deal with melee heavy armies. Okay. Obviously, if you're like a different race like Eldar, this will not work. The reason why you do it with Necrons is because most of the guns are 24 inches. You can't reach out there and hit them hard unless you go forward and you're helping them. So you just make sure your opponent uses his first turn to bring whatever's over there over. You deal with what you can, and then the next wave will come over. It makes things a little bit easier for you. Granted, they could all go wrong in the dice rolls, so you can get a table turn 2. But that is the backbone of surviving against stuff like this. But the most key important part is make sure the scabs are fit first, so smite any guns, you'll probably waste them on the scabs trying to get through. If you break through the scabs and the mortals die, it doesn't matter. They've done the job. If one survives, they've done the job, you can start reanimating. It doesn't matter. A Tesla, make sure you kill the squishy stuff. If you kill most of the squishy stuff, you got like three little blood letters left, like there. Don't waste them on there, shoot the Demon Prince instead. But if you got like big blobs, split the fire of each unit. Don't put 10 there and 10 there, you just waste the shots. Put 5 there, 5 there. And if they survive, then use another 5, and then use another 5. You basically have the same amount of shots on the unit. If you get very lucky, you can use the 5 elsewhere. You can wipe it out. Okay? Good little cheese tactic there. And your turn 1, make sure you send at least 1 or 2 units, or deep strike some units on objective, so or close to it, just to stop your opponent's second wave coming at you full force. You'll have to split. And the Wraith's job is to go for the heavy hitters and go for that. Another good tip, if you kill all the squish units and you got like 3 Demon Princes left, okay, they're like, oh, I'm gonna get you. Use your Teslas on the Demon Prince with the best invulnerable save. So say this has got like a 3 up armor, 3 up armor, 3 up armor, 4 up invuln, 5 up, 5 up. The Wraiths will go for the 5 up invulns. You move a guy closer, so the closest unit to this Demon Prince. You just cheese it like this. He's the closest unit, move him back a little bit. So these are the closest units to the 2 Teslas. And shoot everything into that one Demon Prince. Make that invulnerable save that he's paid for useless. You just take his 3 up armor save anyway. If his Gauss left, shoot him up the worst armor save. So 5 up, shoot him at the 5 up, and then charge with the race, or so on. Okay, make sure you do your best to get more points out of your army every turn than your opponent. Okay, if you got 3 up Invan and 3 up armor, shoot him with Tesla. Don't use your race. Okay, so that's basically how you survive against first turn assaults, how to deal with assault-based armies. Obviously, if your opponent's got like just 2 Demon Princes and tons of shooting, don't go second if you get the chance. Play normal. Okay, this works against, like, if your opponent has 80% or more melee. Okay, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tips and strategies, and hopefully you can kill these damn Demon Princes a lot easier now. So I'll catch you all again in the next video.